was the last time we seriously examined corporate corruption? The last journalist-driven investigation against corporate corruption was 1990s, early 1990s, when the Mehta scam happened. The practical necessities are that in a competitive world where proximity is critical and access is critical, you want to interview the Home Minister, you better be nice to him, only then will he come into your studio. And therefore you won't ask him the tough questions often that he needs to be answered, that he needs to be asked. And if you're a reporter in the field, you find it more and more difficult to actually challenge those in power. I think the real question is the co-option of the journalist. Our traditional image should have been adversarial. We have got co-opted into the system. And why have we got co-opted? Is A, because conceptually we've changed. B, the practical necessities. Ownership patterns. Look at the way in which competitive media demands a certain proximity to those in power. The way ideology and individuals, in a sense, compromise. And then look at the ethical challenge. The final challenge at the end of the day is a moral, ethical challenge. The ability to say no, the ability to draw a Lakshman Rekha. There's no point being self-righteous and saying, and hand-wringing. The world has changed. In this changed world, how much are you going to compromise and where are you going to compromise is the key. Some of us compromise much more and turn into, as I said, political fixers. Some of us compromise less, talk to Anira Radia on phone, humor her, but at the end of the day, I will concede Veer Sanghvi's point that he must be judged by his journalism. He must be judged by what he puts in his newspaper. If you can then also prove that Neera Radia flew him somewhere, gave him a hotel trip, did that, fair enough, go for it. But why don't we ask the same questions when lifestyle journalism has been doing that for 20 years? When all that has been happening on page 3 is junket-driven journalism? Why is it that the political journalist or anyone in the position of those tapes, I believe, must be seen to have a quid pro quo before you accuse him and prove him guilty? The ethical point, which is the final point I'll make, as I said, is about individuals at the end of the day. Editors, unfortunately, over the last 20, 25 years, and Vinod is a rare exception, who's been more than willing to have his resignation in his pocket every time he's been not allowed to write what he wants, have compromised. And I find it ironical that many of those editors come on our TV channels today and ask these kind of questions with a self-righteous outrage. It angers me, because they were the people responsible for the rot in the profession today. They bent when they were asked only to crawl. That's the truth. We mentioned paid news. A year ago on the Editors Guild, we asked editors to take a pledge